what is up, guys? Welcome to the Inland Sports Show, live and amplified here on Wednesday night. My name is Pep Fernandez. We got a really good one for you tonight. We're going to cover a lot of different things. A little bit later in the show, we're going to hit the wrestling mat at Paloma Valley with Wildcats head coach Luis Robles. Big win for the Wildcats against Lakeside last week, so we'll check in with Coach Robles, talk some Paloma Valley wrestling. Let's see, we're also going to talk some Ramona girls basketball. We're going to talk about a big battle between ACA and Aquinas in boys basketball that was crazy. In fact, let's see, do I have it right here? So ACA, without giving it away, ACA was up 22-10 at halftime. What a weird game, right? And then after three quarters, they led 33-14. So Aquinas only had 14 points after three quarters, but the Falcons stormed all the way back and nearly pulled off one of the biggest comebacks that I have ever seen. So we got highlights of that one. It's a post-game reaction. We're also going to hear from the new San Bernardino High School football coach, Jason Williams. He's the right-hand man for Sean Collins, who stepped down this season. So we're going to check in with Coach Williams as well. And we'll also recap what Jaden Daniels did to get the Commanders to the NFC Championship game for the first time since 1991. All right, speaking of football, well, this guy actually played with the Commanders for a little bit. He was in training camp with them this preseason. Austin Jones, the former running back for USC and for Stanford. Also, again, with the Washington Commanders. He's a young guy, but he got his first head coaching gig, and it's right here in the Inland Empire. Austin Jones is the new head football coach for the Lakeside Lancers, and he is ready to get going. He is poised to turn that program around. So here's the exclusive interview with Coach Jones at Lakeside right now. Inland Sports. On the Inland Sports Show, the brand new head football coach for your Lakeside Lancers, Austin Jones. And Coach, listen, not too long ago, we were probably watching you on TV run the football for USC and, in Stanford before that. I'm just curious. I ask a lot of, former players who become coaches, in the back of their mind, did they always know they wanted to be a coach, or did the opportunity come up and you're like, wow, I just can't pass up on it? I mean, how did this kind of come together for you?
No, absolutely. I always knew it was going to be a transition for me to start coaching. I always been that person that's, know the playbook in and out, do extra study and all that stuff. So the coaching piece is always kind of something that I always thought about. And, given the opportunity here, I was like, man, it'd be great to, go to a program that, has been struggling, hasn't had a lot of success in the past couple of years. And, like I told, our principal, told the AD, I was just telling them, like, it's easy to go to a spot that's already, successful. It's easy to just sit there and have a culture that's already built, winning success is already kind of made up for them. But for me, it's like to be able to build a program from the ground up is something that I would have more, value in than I would be just taking over a program itself that's already has a culture as well.
Well, Coach, it looks like you're already in your office. You got the Lakeside gear on. So if you had a to-do list right now, what's near the top of that to-do list? What are you working on like right now to get ready for the upcoming fall?
Cleaning the office. No, I'm just, no, right now it's just, our first 4 months are going to be really just predicated on just getting stronger and faster. I think that's something that, we watching the film and everything, that's something that has been lacking. And, obviously getting more and more kids that are at the school who have kind of gotten away from the program or kind of gotten away from sports and getting them to come back to playing. There's a lot of kids out around campus, just me walking around and seeing all of them that, are coming up to me that want to play that, either, play before and haven't, or, just waiting for the opportunity to have a coach who's going to be there for them. Mm-hmm. And, I can be that person to kind of relate to them, given that I just stopped playing like a couple months ago, So it's one of those things, man. You just gotta just be there for the kid. That's the biggest thing. And just moving forward, obviously our first 4 months, like I said, is going to be, running and lifting. That's going to be the biggest thing. Getting stronger, getting faster. That's something that we need to improve on a lot. From there, then you would be, we'll have a kind of a late spring ball, just in the sense that, we're going to get the kids right, obviously, through, like, if you're a really good athlete and you're strong and you're ready to run, you're fast and all that, like, that will take care of itself as far as how football goes. But that's the biggest thing that we got to handle. Then from there, we'll obviously get into practice, have a dead period, get right into our summer ball, all the way into the season, and then just go out there and win games. And a lot of people are used to having you know a losing culture around here, especially with just like the students, the kids. They're not used. They haven't won a game in 2 years. So the biggest thing for us is just taking it one game at a time and seeing kind of how it all fits. But at the end of the day, what an opportunity it is, right? To be a 23-year-old head coach. I mean, a lot of people probably are sitting there thinking, what are they thinking at Lakeside High School hiring a 23-year-old kid? But at the end of the day, it's one of those things where it's like my age doesn't depict, you know, how I kind of go about things in the way that I kind of approach things. I got older siblings that are way older than me, so I've had to grow up a lot quicker, and mature a lot more. So, and as people come around the program, people get to meet me and see me and everything like that. They'll get a feel for that. So.
Well, Coach, what you might lack in coaching experience, obviously you played big-time college football. How do you think your experiences at USC and Stanford will translate to, high school football players and motivating them, coaching them, giving them the latest in information that you were able to garner at, two big-time, well, at the time, Pac-12 football programs, I assume, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I just got done playing. And I've been in a pro. I've been the two offenses that I've been in. One was pro style, where you had to know everything, kills, obviously. There's three plays in one, especially when you're in a pro style. And just then going on with Lincoln Riley, where we game planned every single week, and it was basically a new playbook every single week. So there's the coaching experience deals with a lot of people are going to be like, does he know how to put it together? I mean, I pretty much had to coach myself every single day. I know how this thing goes and just the disciplines that it takes. Then, of course, I had, David Shaw, who's an amazing coach. He's, who he is and what he stood for and how he kind of ran his program. I got to watch that. I got to watch Lincoln, what we did at USC my 2 years there. I mean, there's a lot of success that I've already had seen. And then I had the opportunity to go to Commanders, still under the same offense under Cliff Kingsbury, who me and him were really cool. Got to see Dan Quinn, how he kind of, brought his culture in, and now obviously the success. So the biggest thing is, I mean, a lot of people are going to think like the coaching experience is what you need. Well, you need the job to get the experience, right? Yeah. So at the end of the day, I like you said, I played a lot of big time football. I played at all three levels, and I know how this game works through the ins and outs. I had my playbook for the past, 4 months. Harder had to set up for what we're going to do here. And, how we're going to call it and how we're going to move forward, So it's just one of those things, people always are hesitant with young coaches, but at the end of the day, the playing experience, knowing how the ins and outs of the game, that is something that you can't take away from. There's a lot of coaches that haven't even played the game. So they know just from, watching film and stuff, which I already do as is. And now I'm the player. So I actually know like what plays work, what coverages we're going to work, how we're going to do that. Because you have to, especially when you get to that high level of football. Mm-hmm. You're not just running, low league 26 power. That's not a thing anymore when you get to that level. So it's just, when you've done it for so long, you play for so long since a kid, and now you get to grow in it, and have the coaches that I had that are just very successful, obviously, and very offensive minded coaches, and have successful players, and I had successful time playing as well. Now you get to see kind of the sentiments of that and how it kind of moves forward. So,
yeah. So it sounds like, Coach, you're going to kind of, lean into your experiences and where you've played. Is it safe to say that maybe you'll take a little bit of, what you learned playing at the high school level, and a little bit from Stanford, and a little bit from USC, and a little bit from the NFL experience, in just terms of, how you prepare, how you run practice, the kind of plays that you're going to call? You're going to take a little bit from each of your football stops and kind of make your own coaching style?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm definitely going to take, the main things I'll probably take is mostly just from, my times at USC and times at the Commanders, because I've been in the offense, and I know that offense through and through. Stanford, definitely take some pieces from there as well. Obviously, with Coach Shaw being who he is and such a great coach, obviously. And then high school as well is just, the biggest thing is you got to set the culture. That's the first thing into building a program. The culture, like there's a motto that I go by and that I have is, the culture is the catalyst. The culture starts it. It feeds the players. It feeds how we're going to do things, how we're going to go about deals. And the biggest thing with us is just honing into that culture and getting a bunch of buy-in, not only from the kids itself. We already have the help of all the administration, which has been a huge thing. They're really bought into this thing. They really want to see a successful program. So I already have them. Now it's just got to be the players and the parents. And once we get that culture and that culture, how we run things, showing up early, working out, doing all that stuff, like it'll be ran like a college program. And a lot of these kids, they don't necessarily see themselves as that college athlete, but I'm gonna give them an opportunity to show them what it takes, because there's no trick to getting to where you want to go as far as college football, NFL football. There's no trick to it. It's a simple fact of the matter is you have to come out, you have to work hard, you got to make plays, and you just got to be yourself each and every day. And I would definitely, all the way to running practice, like we're gonna run it just like how I ran it in college, the exact same way. It's all gonna be predicated on the experiences that I have, because those experiences is something that a lot of people never even got. So it's just having that and understanding that, and just continue to move forward. There's a lot of people that are going to have their opinions of how I do things, but I'm doing what works and what I know works from, because I did it. I played in that practice atmosphere, that office atmosphere. Like we're going to be, we're doing a lot of competitive work. We're not going to be sitting here and kind of have the generic high school practice. You just come out, throw the ball a little bit, do a couple plays, everything's slow. We're going to be fast paced. We're going to be on, and we're going to be working. That's what it is. Like that's how college was for me. So it's one of those things where my experience is going to take me much farther than it would me settling. So yeah.
Coach, what do you think? Obviously, I'm a glass half full guy. I try to keep it positive. But, what do you think are some of the challenges of taking over a program? Like you said, they haven't won a game in a couple seasons, and just trying to, build that confidence and maybe build some excitement. Like you said, trying to just recruit kids on your home campus to, come play football and trying to get the numbers up and get people excited that, Lakeside has a football team and we are going to be competitive. What do you think are some of the challenges, trying to make that happen?
Oh, like I said, the biggest thing is just, fixing the culture of what it is. A lot of, parents and players, they've seen the past couple of years, obviously not winning not winning a game, past 2 years, 0-20 in the past. And before that, they were 4-6 or whatnot. So it's like, they're so used to losing, like they're used to that being kind of what it is. And, the biggest challenge that we're going to have is just kind of fixing the mindset of the kids who are trying to bring on, and also the ones who are already on the team, and let them know, yes, we're going to win games, and there's no trick to winning games. It's just being consistent, coming in and working every single day, and then just kind of let it all hang from there, and just go out there and, give your A1 effort. That's really what it is. So that's going to be the biggest thing, just, fixing the culture, because everything else will take care of itself. There's all the little stuff that you're going to deal with as a coach. That's what every program deals with. But the biggest thing, if you can fix the culture, that will set you up for a lot of success that we will have. But, that's just going to be the bigger challenge is, is that they didn't necessarily have a program where they were lifting a lot. They were doing a lot of things that are pushing them towards, or having them look forward to what the season would look like. They're just kind of just going out there and playing, where it's like, for me, we got to work, and the work starts, Saturday for us. Like that's where it starts. That's where we start to get some football stuff in. We're starting to do a lot of sprint stuff, sprint mechanics, learning how to run, learning how to lift, learning how to do things, because they haven't had that support as far as sports goes. They have the administrative support, they have the academic support, they have all that. But athletically, as far as like football goes, all the other sports are, they've all the other sports have their support. Athletically, as far as football, there's not enough support, in terms of what it is. So we're going to have a way to continue to move that forward. And they need a coach to be on campus every single day here pushing them. I'm going to be here every single day, all day. And, there's a couple of kids that I talked to, I talked to them for just 2 hours, telling them how much different this is going to be. And, they're already kind of getting a sentiment of how I'm going to run things, and I tell the kids, it's not going to, I'm 23 years old. Like I know how this thing goes, so I'm not going to be sitting here trying to be a drill sergeant. I'm going to meet you where you are, and I'm going to take you farther than where you want to go. So.
All right, Coach, finally, X's and O's wise, without giving away all your secrets, what are you hoping to see from your team? Are you a guy who wants to throw 50 times a game? You're a former running back, so are you going to be run heavy? Are you going to put your best players on defense? Like, what's this team going to look like, you think?
It's going to be easy to say, but it's going to be even balanced, and it's just going to depend on the game itself. There's going to be times where we're going to have to pass a lot. If we kind of see matchups where we kind of like, there's going to be times where we're going to run where we can beat them up in the trenches. The biggest thing for me is, we're going to get our athletes the ball in space. Like, that's what we're going to do and let them work, like out athlete people. And that's going to be predicated on those first 4 months of us getting obviously stronger and faster, or from there, and building the skills that we're going to do on Saturdays as well. But, the biggest thing is just letting them be them. Like, I'm going to scheme up some plays for you, but at the end of the day, you got to go make the play. And not everything's going to be open. We're not going to, try to scheme up the best play for every situation each time. We got to let our players be players and let them show, the God-given ability that they have, and just go out there and have fun. That's the biggest thing, and just, have some swag about yourself. That's what it's going to be. It's not going to be just the, generic kind of offense where we're just going to just run here, run there. No, we're going to put some flair to it. But at the end of the day, we're going to be predicated on just our athletes getting out in space, spreading teams out and just kind of just letting them work from there. And then obviously when we get the opportunity, we'll beat them up on the run as well. So we'll have a lot of different things kind of going in, and like my man Lincoln, we'll be game planning for each team just like how he did it. Because I think that's why he's so successful. You don't know what's going to come each week. So just having that for sure.
So a lot going on behind the scenes, like people think, oh, you just roll the footballs out and you grab one and you start playing. It's like, no, man, there's a lot of prep work, a lot of, on purpose. Things are happening on purpose, not by accident. Like, there's a plan behind Absolutely. A lot of this stuff, it sounds like.
Absolutely. Yeah. I plan out the entire year of what we're going to do already. Like, it's already set, and then I just got to just figure out, other details that we need to kind of figure out for outside of the program, obviously. Building, because the biggest way to build a culture, obviously, is getting around each other more, and we're not just going to be only on a football basis. We'll try to do, some team events and stuff. And with those events, we'll have parents and everything trying to come in, and their kids or whatnot, like, get us around each other. So we're starting to get used to each other, how each other operates, and then from there we'll build, but the biggest thing is just building that kind of family atmosphere. And from there, we'll just, hone in on it and just keep moving forward.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the gig. Best of luck going forward. And
Yes,
let's do this again soon in the future, man. Check in with you guys and see how it's going as we lead into, the 2025 season. That sounds crazy to say, but here we go.
Here we go. No, it does. No, for sure. I'd love to do it again. And, you got my number. So anytime you want to hit me up, man, let me know. I'll definitely hop on.
Inland Sports. Well, really excited to see what Coach Jones is going to do with the Lakeside Lancers. And like I mentioned a little bit later in the show, we're going to hear from San Bernardino's new head football coach, Jason Williams. Another exclusive here on the Inland Sports Show. But when we come back after this very quick commercial break, we're going straight to the mat at Paloma Valley with head coach Luis Robles. That's next here on the Inland Sports Show. We'll be right back after this. And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kids Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. Olson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust. Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken. And as the football season wraps up across Southern California, turn to Sanitation Solutions for comprehensive laundry and athletic equipment services. They can take care of your weekly uniform laundry and end-of-season equipment inventory. And if you'd like to promote your business or organization on the show, send us an email. Help us share the positive sports stories here in the Inland Empire. The Inland Sports Show is proud to partner with Dr. Marcus Paulson and Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Dr. Paulson and his team work with children, teens, and adults using orthodontic products like traditional braces and Invisalign to make a difference in the appearance, comfort, and function of each patient's teeth. Paulson Orthodontics welcomes new patients, so schedule a visit today. Paulson Orthodontics. We make braces fun.
Parents, is your young athlete training too much? Stay tuned to find out. Did you know that the recommended dosage of training hours per week should not exceed your child's age? This means that if your child is 13, they should receive no more than 13 hours of speed training, strength training, sports practice, and competition within 7 days. So, don't burn your kids out, keep development fun, and more importantly, don't be a crazy parent. Boost Man.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. We are live and amplified here on a Wednesday night. If you have not subscribed to the Inland Sports Show YouTube channel, this is your chance right now. If you subscribe right now, it's absolutely free. Actually, it's free all the time. Just hit subscribe, give this video a like, and please share it with your family and friends. We'd appreciate your classmates at school, your teammates, everybody. The more we get out there, the better it is for us, and we can continue doing this and sharing the positive sports stories here in the Inland Empire area. All right, so we talked a little football. Let's talk a little wrestling right now. Luis Robles, one of my favorite guys on the wrestling mat, doing big things with the Paloma Valley Wildcats again. Great boys and girls programs at Paloma Valley. The boys just had a huge win against Lakeside, two of the top Division I teams in the CIF Southern section, going head-to-head in Ivy League action. Big win for them. I think, Coach, as you're about to hear in the interview, they had Hillcrest this week. And then I think on Friday it was Canyon Springs, and that could be a winner-take-all for the Ivy League Championship. As we all know, Canyon Springs is another one of those dominant wrestling programs here in the IE. Without further ado, here's your guy, Luis Robles from Paloma Valley Wrestling. Inland Sports. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show as we get to talk some wrestling with Paloma Valley Wildcats head coach Luis Robles. And Coach, man, welcome to the show. Always good checking in with you and Paloma Valley as they have been having another great season on the mat. Before we talk about some significant matches that you just had, what do you think makes this year's team maybe special or unique? What do you like about this year's squad specifically?
I mean, honestly, I guess the answer is not what you're looking for. It's not anything unique. It's what we've been doing for years. It's just we've been building on the fact that team first, individual second, which is not necessarily what most programs do or what you think of when you hear of wrestling. Wrestling's usually all about the individual. But a long time ago, a really smart coach told me that, the crazy thing about wrestling is you do 99% of things in wrestling as a team. The only thing you do alone is go out and compete. You warm up together, you practice together, you go to the meets together, you hang out in the bleachers together. Most of what you do is until you cross that line and then you're wrestling, 6 minutes or longer or shorter on your own. And so that's one thing we've been preaching. And so, I think early on, we didn't have that with the group. We had a couple tough losses early in the year, but now we're back to that kind of team first mentality. And There was a lot of kids that have done some things for the team already, whether it's getting down to weight or wrestle while they're banged up to make sure that the team comes first.
Coach, I love that answer. That's a smart answer. Like, when I ask you what's different about this team, you're like, well, it might sound boring, but this team is buying into what we always do, and you guys have had a ton of success. So obviously, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Like, keep doing what we're doing, guys.
Yep.
Well, Coach, listen, you just had Lakeside in an Ivy League, duel in a match. And Lakeside at the time was number 3, I think, in Division I.
Yep.
And you guys, I think you were like maybe around the top 10, right? Like an at-large.
We were honorable mention. So, we were like 11, 12 area.
So right there on the cusp of the top 10. I know it was a dramatic finish. It came down to that final match, and your guy won by pin. But what did that mean? What did that match mean for the team? I know we talk so much about individuals in wrestling, but what did that match mean for this team to maybe, I don't know, restore confidence or maybe build some momentum for the rest of the season? What did that match mean?
It meant a lot, honestly. Like, we all got really hyped for it. We kind of were looking forward to it from the start of the season. We didn't know where we'd be at, if they were going to be ranked high or we were going to be ranked higher or lower than them. But, with the Ivy, it's part of the Rain Cross Conference. And the one thing that's unique that, I'll be honest, I don't love about it is you don't get the old school rivalries as much. We're wrestling teams, like Hillcrest that are way far from us. Canyon Springs, we've developed a really good rivalry, but they're not necessarily close to us. But with Lakeside, they were in our old league. They were in our old Sunbelt, and they're, not necessarily super close, but they're basically across the 15 from us. And a lot of our kids see each other in off-season tournaments. They might, cross path at club matches and stuff like that. So that's a rivalry for us. And we haven't wrestled them in a couple of years because they were down in the Sun Belt the last couple of years. So they came up. And just to be honest, our kids wanted that match. Like, they didn't want to hear the trash talk. Like, we see these kids everywhere. We see these coaches everywhere. So it was a little bit of more of a rivalry than the league title or anything like that. Like, we weren't looking forward to, if we lost, hearing them run their mouth. And so we wanted that win bad. So for our team, it meant a lot. It was more that. And the chip on our shoulder, when we got ranked honorable mention and they were third, I always think we wrestle best with the chip on our shoulder. And our kids, like, they took that chip on their shoulder seriously. Like, they were like, why are they number 3? Why not us?
Man, some little bit of an underdog role for the Wildcats in that one. Coach, I don't have like the Ivy League schools for wrestling in front of me, but okay, so you guys, Lakeside, Canyon Springs, Hillcrest, who am I missing?
Hammett High School.
Oh, Hammett as well. So,
and that's the 5.
So what did that mean in terms of the league championship race? What did that mean? I mean, does it come down to you guys in Canyon Springs? I don't know if you've wrestled them already.
So Canyon Springs wrestled Lakeside. They lost a really close match as well. I think the final score was 36-34.
Wow.
Came down to the last match. So Lakeside won. So right now, if we beat Emmett on Wednesday, we will clinch at least a share. But to get it outright, we need to beat Canyon Springs on Friday. So we have Canyon Springs this Friday. So Emmett Wednesday, clinch a share. Canyon Springs Friday, we clinch the whole thing. So obviously, we're just looking to Hammett right now for Wednesday.
Listen, I know there's some great, wrestling programs around, Big 8 League. There's some really good schools over there. Temecula Valley has had a ton of success as well. But the Ivy League, I mean, at least in your own estimate, is it maybe the best high school wrestling league in the area?
I think it is, and especially when you factor in both the boys and the girls. But mostly talking to the boys right now, it is. I mean, I think the Big 8 is still one of the better leagues in the area. They're really good. They got Centennials this year. Norco's really strong. Roosevelt's 1CF. So, that's probably the next best big league, I think, and then the Southwest. But I just think, when we get to the CIF race, I think Lakeside, us, Canyon Springs are all going to be the top 3 out of 4 teams at our individual CIF. So it is a powerful league. Last year, Canyon Springs won CIF duels and individuals. We were runner-up. So, Lakeside won CIF 2 years ago. So, these are all teams that are not just competing for a league title. We're competing for CIF titles. So, yeah, I would definitely say it's one of the top 5 leagues in our whole southern section.
All right, Kate. So with that said, I mean, what are the goals for this team, boys and girls? Is it CIF? I mean, first league title, obviously, but CIF. You have a certain number of individuals you'd like to see reach state. I mean, what's kind of the goals?
So boys side, our biggest goal is to try and win CIF. I mean, I just say try and win CIF because our biggest goal is always just do the best we can, keep improving, team first, all those things. So, and me and Coach Marshall, my big assistant, we've kind of noticed that the more we push a specific goal, sometimes, kids freak out towards the end. So we've made it more about just getting better. And if we're good enough to win it, we'll win it. And if we're not, we'll just keep going back to work and getting better. So, but I mean, we do believe we can win a CF title on the boys side. We're going to mostly focus on the individual CF title after we clinch, hopefully clinch our league championship. So on the girls side, we're definitely looking to compete for a CF title. We lost to Hillcrest in the duels, so we will have to beat Hammett to create a three-way tie for the league championship. But Hillcrest is a D1 team too, so we're in D2. So we're hoping we can compete for a D2 CF duels title, which we'll be defending for the girls side. So those are kind of main goals. But again, we have been mostly talking about just getting better and just enjoying the moment, being a team and doing all the right things. Because sometimes I think when we get too goal-oriented, then all we care about is wins and losses. And sometimes, some of those things are out of control. If you, break a leg, you can't control that, right? Like you train hard. It's not because you had a lack of training. And then that could hurt you. That happened to us last year. We had a kid get really, really sick at league finals and he couldn't compete at CIF. And we ended up losing the CIF title by 16 team points, which could have been that individual. So we're just going to go out there. We're going to compete hard. We're going to do the best we can. And, if we're good enough to win it, we'll win it.
All right, Coach, finally, you talked about, to piggyback off what you just said, talking about getting better, progressing and getting better, day by day, practice by practice, match by match. It sounds like it was a little bit of a rocky start to the season, but on the heels of that huge win against Lakeside, I mean, do you feel like this team is getting better and better and improving as the season gets farther along?
I definitely think so. I mean, I'm not going to say anything about any programs directly because it might not be the coaches or anything, but we always feel that we peak at the right time and we see other programs, they start amazing. They're winning tournaments early, but then they kind of burn out at the end. And our focus is always, towards the end. But yeah, we lost to Servite in a really close match. I mean, they're great, but we lost close to them. We lost to Birmingham and, they ended up kind of running away with it, but, we had shots to beat them in a couple weights. So we've had some losses or even some wins where we didn't wrestle our best, but we definitely feel like we're peaking at the right time. We've been holding guys out. So like Lakeside was the first time we had a complete team on the boys' side. Girls, Hillcrest was the first time we had a complete team. So we've kind of been, methodical with holding guys out, holding girls out, healing injuries, not burning them out. Some of them, we've got some kids that have had some severe stuff going on at home or different things. And so, we're not like, oh, we know this happened at home, but suck it up and go, kill yourself for this individual match. Like, we're like, no. Take the weekend off. Let's refocus. Come back on Monday.
Well, Coach, listen, continued success, man. Always appreciate the time. Love talking some wrestling with you guys. Best of luck. Sounds like a big week coming up for you guys in terms of that league, that first step, right?
Yeah, it's a big week. It's we want that match with Canyon Springs back. There, it's weird because Coach Lowe over there is one of my best friends. And so we know those kids, but not as well as the kids out, Lakeside and this area. But it's a friendly rivalry. Like our kids want that match back. We lost to them last year, came down last match. So it is a big week for us. But in the end, it's a fun week for us. I like seeing Coach Lowe and competing against them. And, we always are in good spirits after the match.
So that one on Friday, is it in the Fee or is it Moval?
It's out here. It's at Paloma.
All right. So it could be all on the line out there in Paloma Valley on Friday night. That is Luis Robles, the head wrestling coach for Paloma Valley here on the Inland Sports Show. Thank you so much, Coach. Let's hopefully do this again down the road. Maybe you'll have some hardware to show me.
I hope so. I mean, that's the goal. So I'll hit you up.
All right. That's Coach Robles here on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports. Coach Robles, a great dude, great program down there at Paloma Valley for wrestling. We'll see what the boys and girls do for the remainder of the season. But as I mentioned before the interview, the Ivy League Championship on the boys' side should be up for grabs head-to-head when Paloma Valley wrestles against Canyon Springs down in the Fee. Moval versus the Fee, Canyon Springs and Paloma Valley on Friday night on the wrestling mat. All right, when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, live and amplified, coming at you on a Wednesday night, So, as I mentioned last week, if you caught our show, we've been doing some longer format interviews. We're also doing more, I call them sound bites, more short interviews, some highlights, stuff like that in there as well, trying to mix it up a little bit, keep you guys on your toes, and we'll probably do a little bit of each. The longer interviews and shorter interviews, like I said, highlights, some score updates, stuff like that as well. So when we come back, we've got, let's see, we're going to talk Moreno Valley girls basketball, Ramona girls basketball, Southwestern League boys basketball, ACA boys basketball, San Bernardino football. We're going to cover a lot in the next segment, so make sure you keep it right here on the Inland Sports Show right after this. And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. Olson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust. Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken. And as the football season wraps up across Southern California, turn to Sanitation Solutions for comprehensive laundry and athletic equipment services. They can take care of your weekly uniform laundry and end-of-season equipment inventory. And if you'd like to promote your business or organization on the show, send us an email. Help us share the positive sports stories here in the Inland Empire.
Want to know the best type of recovery for athletes at zero cost? I'm talking about sleep, of course. As an athlete, good sleep can help you reduce your risk of injury, improve your strength and power output, as well as improve your overall work capacity. It also helps you bounce back quickly from the stress of competition. As a student, adequate sleep can help boost your mood, cognition, productivity, and relationships. Bottom line, don't sleep on sleep. Boostman.
Hey guys, this is Jason at Ken Sporting Goods. We're almost to 1,000 Instagram followers. Tell your friends, like us, come down and see us. Thank you so much for your loyalty.
There's only 4 teams left in the NFL playoffs in the hunt for the Super Bowl, one of them being the Washington Commanders, quarterbacked by our own Jaden Daniels, the pride of Cajon High School in San Bernardino. The Commanders going on the road into Detroit, the #1 seeded Lions, and thumping Detroit 45-31. Listen, every single time Jaden Daniels takes the field, he sets all these different records. Like, I just saw all these social media posts like saying Jaden Daniels is the first rookie quarterback to do this. He's the first one to do that. No quarterback has ever done this. It's almost like Shohei Ohtani when he was breaking all these records right and left. I feel like that's what Jaden Daniels is doing right now as a rookie quarterback in the NFL playoffs.
I will tell the K-Cal Rockers in the third quarter, I prepared my text to Pep because I could just feel it coming on. And finally, I just texted him, Jaden effing Daniels, man.
Yeah, like, we've talked about this, all football season, really, definitely the last couple of weeks, that, he's unfazed by the big moment. He didn't care that the Lions were the number one seed. He didn't care they were going on the road. He didn't care that, he's a rookie and that, Washington was not supposed to be this good, this fast. Patrick, they are one win away from playing in the Super Bowl, and Jaden's only a rookie. Like, as the Eagles held off the LA Rams in the other divisional playoff game, 28-22. Great run for the Rams, but going to Philly in the snow. They had their opportunities, but the Eagles did enough to win.
Barkley did eventually go bananas on them, but I actually think the Rams played very well, and they could have stole that game. They are very lucky in terms of the Eagles that they eliminated the Rams, because we're talking about Jaden Daniels and the Rams last week, the two most dangerous teams in the playoffs, and they get out of there by the skin of their teeth. I mean, I thought Stafford was going to come back. I was like, they scored a touchdown. It's over here. It didn't happen. But I still think the Rams showed up again and played pretty decent, even with the big injury on the defensive line. Krause, I believe, right? I mean, He went down. He had the most sacks on the whole team. Jarrod Verse was there to play. I give props to the Rams.
Yeah, and I mean, props to the Rams, and they had a chance to win. To be honest, I thought it was inevitable that they were going to drive down and Matthew Stafford was going to have another iconic moment. They were going to win and get to the NFC Championship game, which they would have hosted. They were a higher seed than Washington. They would have hosted that championship game, but it was not to be. So now Washington has to go back to Philadelphia for the NFC Championship.
Inland Sports.
Just hanging out with my boy Patrick in the morning on KCAL 96.7 FM every Monday and Thursday morning. Of course, we're always talking about our guy Jaden Daniels, the pride of Cajon High School. We will definitely tomorrow morning be talking about the conference championship games in the NFL playoffs and who is going to be the Raiders' next head coach. We're going to talk about that as well. That is every Monday and Thursday morning on KCAL 96.7 FM with my guy Patrick in the morning. All right, speaking of Jaden Daniels, the legacy, the legend of Jaden Daniels continues to grow game by game, including here in the playoffs. Jaden with another monster game in the postseason to lead the Commanders to the NFC Championship game for the first time since 1991, 33 years. And he's only a rookie. He got them in the championship game. He was lights out in a huge game and a huge win against the Detroit Lions, the number one seed in the NFC playoffs. So very excited to see what Jaden's going to do this week against the Philadelphia Eagles. The winner will move on to the Super Bowl, man. And he's only a rookie. It's crazy. But best of luck to Jaden Daniels, the pride of Cajon High School, and just all around good dude. Great player, even better person. So we're very excited for Jaden. All right, we'll keep it with football right now. In his hometown of San Bernardino, Jaden's hometown, at San Bernardino High School, Cardinal City, the home of Alexander Madison of the Las Vegas Raiders. Well, they have a new head football coach. Sean Collins did such a great job, not only with the Cardinals, but even the Colton Yellow Jackets before that. But Coach Collins stepping down, and he's turning the reins over to his right-hand man, Jason Williams. And Coach Williams was with Coach Collins at Hub City, Colton High School, and now he joined him at Cardinal City, and now he's going to be the head man in charge. We had a chance to catch up with Coach Williams shortly after getting the job, and he talked about taking over the program and if it might look any different now that he's in charge. Here is Coach Jason Williams from Cardinal City, USA.
Inland Sports.
Oh, yes, I'm excited. I think our guys are ready. They're hungry. Like you said, it was a little bit of a down season for us where the expectation here is now to win. Mm-hmm. So when we didn't have the greatest season last year, I think it built a hunger and a desire coming into this season. So I'm excited, and I think the players are excited, and we're ready to get after it again this year.
Now, you were just telling me you and Coach Collins go way back. I mean, like the last decade coaching with one another, right?
Yes, I think we could coach together 10 to 11 years together from over at Colton High School, and then transitioned over here. We enjoyed trying to rebuild programs together, and that's what we wanted to do here. And I think he left this place in a great position. I'm grateful for the opportunity he gave me, and looking to continue that success here.
Do you feel like the team or the program in general, is it going to look similar? Is it going to look different? I mean, if you and Collins are kind of you guys were a tag team for so long, I mean, what do you think going forward?
Obviously, since we did a lot together and we built up our program together, there's definitely going to be things that are going to look very similar, but definitely going to have a little bit more of my flair to it too. So, little tweaks.
And when you say flair, obviously Collins is a run guy, and
I'm a run guy too. You're still going to get the triple option, but you might see a few more passes up thrown in the air.
Inland Sports.
All right, congrats to Coach Williams on the new gig. All right, let's talk some high school girls basketball now. And there was a huge showdown in the Ivy League between Moreno Valley and Rancho Christian. It also brought us our Big Boost play of the week.
Inland Sports.
Check it out. Moreno Valley and Rancho Christian tied at 79. Alicia Mills sinks the game-winning three-pointer at the buzzer, and Moreno Valley wins 82-79 for first place in the Ivy League, and also gave head coach Larry Wright his 100th career victory. That is our Big Boost play of the week. And a shout out to Coach Sims out there at Mobile for the assist, hooking us up with a dramatic video at the end there. There's Coach Wright. Congrats to the Moreno Valley girls basketball team. Our Big Boost play of the week. All right, more girls basketball. We had first place on the line also in the River Valley League just last night on Tuesday night as Ramona went on the road at Patriot. Both teams were 4-0 going into this contest, and it would be Ramona winning 67-42 the final. So the Rams improved to 5-0, sole possession of first place in the RVL. That is number 2, Jaden Tibbles, a career high 29 points in that ball game to lead the way for Ram High. Olivia Molina chipped in 15. Diana Nahara added 11. As again, Ramona, it's kind of tight in the first quarter. Patriot had the lead after one, but the Rams really stepped on the gas after that, winning 67-42 again. 18-4 overall. We also had a chance to talk to Coach Brandon Fletcher about this year's team, and he's excited about it. This is a pretty young group, but very talented.
Inland Sports.
Our last year was our first league championship in 20 years, back when we were still part of the Sunkist. So we have sustained an amount of success, but we've always run into a buzzsaw like in Hillcrest, or Patriot has dominated this league for a long time. And, we were fortunate enough to finally get over the hump through a lot of battles over the years, and now we're trying to make it 2 in a row. We try to keep the standard the same. We want to, we talk about culture and identity first. And there are expectations, and we set our expectations high. We want to win league. We want to have a chance to win a CIF championship. And that's all a part about how we do stuff. And so coming into this year from last year, I don't think it was any different, that there wasn't a kind of a different feeling. It was just, this is what we need to do. We need to keep doing what we're doing and reestablish our culture and understand that everybody buys into it, and that we do that first, and success follows if we have a really good, strong culture. Yeah, it's been a great last few years where we've been able to kind of roll experienced lineups year after year. I started a couple of years ago, kind of that year after COVID, and we had a bunch of sophomores on that group, and so we were able to kind of start building with that, and having a lot of returners coming back. And this year again, we start one senior right now, but everybody else who's playing heavy minutes is coming back again next year, and we have some freshmen we're excited about, and so we're going to have a team that's going to be rolling back another experienced group next year. So it's nice to have some continuity in the program from year after year.
Inland Sports.
Coach Fletcher is a good dude, and I know this because he's also a huge Sacramento Kings fan, just like yours truly right here. But the Rams are having a great year, 5-0 right now in the River Valley League, and as he mentioned, their first league championship last year, the first one in 20 years, and now they're trying to go back-to-back in the River Valley League. So good year for Ram High, and that was their first rotation, their first cycle through league play, so they'll play everybody one more time again. All right, so girls basketball to boys basketball. If you are watching us live and amplified on Wednesday night, they are on the court right now down at Murrieta Valley. It's the Ken Sporting Goods must-see game. The Nighthawks at home against Temecula Valley. In boys basketball, they are tied for first place going into tonight. Both teams 3-1 in the Southwestern League, and the Southwestern League is tough, top to bottom. No way one team is going to go undefeated in this league. The champion might have a couple losses when it's all said and done because they're just taking turns kind of beating each other up. But it's a very good league. This is a great rivalry game. Temecula Valley, Murrieta Valley, our Ken Sporting Goods must-see game. Boys hoops in the Southwestern League, man. It should be a good one. If you're there or you know the score, drop it in the live chat because they are playing right now. All right, let's rewind back to the big Arrowhead Christian versus Aquinas boys basketball game. This one was wild. One of the crazier games that I've ever seen. I was out there at Eagle Arena, as they call it, at ACA. The Eagles opened up a big lead on the Falcons. They were this is second half highlights, but they led 22-10 at halftime. Parker Disselberg hitting a couple big threes in the third quarter as the Eagles led by a score of 33-14 after 3 quarters of play. So you would assume that lead would be safe, especially with Aquinas only scoring 14 through the first 3 quarters. But Aquinas in the fourth quarter outscored ACA by a score of 29-15. And they soared back in a big way. In fact, the Falcons got within 3 of ACA, but they simply could not close the gap. ACA holds them off for a big win, 48-43, the final score. It was a massive comeback by the Falcons, but it comes up just a little bit short as ACA gets the win.
Inland Sports.
Honestly, to me, the way I look at it, it's just another win, to go compete. I mean, we got a long journey ahead of us. I mean, we got to go to their place at their house, and they're a pretty tough team. So it's going to be a rough one over there, but we're going to battle.
What do you think it says about your team that they found a way to win? I mean, there was some big possessions here at the end of the game.
I mean, we got to be resilient. I mean, I'm big on my team, on mental toughness, and them being engaged and being aware. So to have the lead up to 20 and to lose it that fast, I mean, we got to stay locked in and carry a little mental lapses and mental errors. But I mean, that's part of the game, though.
And finally, in terms of the league championship race, how important was this tonight?
Oh, it's very big. It's very big. I mean, I think I'm telling you all year. I've been telling Mike Young, our AD, that to me, the top 4 teams is anybody's game. So I mean, to take this win now, I mean, it puts us in first place for the first half. But I mean, we got to go to their place. We got to do it with Arrowhead Christian. They're all some tough teams.
Inland Sports.
A nice win there for the Eags. And that will do it for this edition of the Inland Sports Show. We appreciate you watching live and amplified on Wednesday night. And the show will live forever on the YouTube channel. So go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. My name is Pep Fernandez. Again, thank you so much, guys, for watching. We really appreciate it each and every week. God bless you guys. Stay safe out there. We'll see you next time on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show.